I'm going to be talking about news in the NHL. Um, so we'll get right into that. We'll start with the Adam Pelech signing. Adam Pelech re-signing with the New York Islanders. Um, I think this is a solid move by the Islanders. I think it's a steal really. I heard news, at least that's what I saw on Instagram. I saw that at the beginning of the free agency period, he was asking for $7 million, and he ended up getting 5.75, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure. I'm not sure yet. I can take a look after to see if I was right. It's in the $5 million range. That's all I know. Um, but I think it's a good move. Um, again, I think it's a steal. He was a great defenseman for them all season during the playoffs. They made it to the conference finals. He was a big piece of them making it to the conference finals too. Um, so I think that's a great move. Now I'm gonna talk about something that happened yesterday, and that is um, the Pierre-Luc Dubois changing his number. Um, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before that, but it was this week. Um, I think it's a it's a lot of respect. I gained a lot of respect for Pierre-Luc Dubois changing his number because it was because of his he changed it because of his teammate, his former teammate, I should say, because now he plays for the Jets. Um, Matisse Kavlenix, who passed away. Um, so I think it's a big sign of respect. I've seen a lot of people saying they gained a lot of respect for him. Um, I didn't really like Dubois before that, um, but now I've gained a lot of respect for him. I mean, even like he doesn't even play for them for the Jackets anymore, and he still changed his number. Um, so like if I would have probably said if you would have told me like if someone changed their number, I would have probably said uh, like Zach Werenski or something, not Pierre-Luc Dubois. But yeah, it was like big sign of respect from Pierre-Luc Dubois to Matisse Kavlenix. Yeah. Next subject, the Tomas Tatar signing that happened yesterday. Um, I'm gonna go a bit more in depth on this one because I can tell you a lot uh, about Tatar because I am a Habs fan. I've been watching his games for a long time now. For the past 3 years or so, I've been watching his games. Um, actually, 2 3 years. I've been watching him play. So I know a lot about him. Like a guy like Adam Pelech, I wouldn't know. I just went off of highlights and stuff. But now I can base myself on what I know. Um, so I think there's a great signing for the Devils. I think the Devils are probably going to be competing for a playoff spot next season. They've done a lot of great moves, picking up Dougie Hamilton, picking up Tatar now, re-signing Yegor Sharankovich on a 2-year, $2 million deal. Yeah, I think they've done a lot of great moves. And I think there's another great move here that the Devils have done. Um, on a 2-year deal, $4.5 million. I think that's a steal. I was expecting him to get more than what he was making. I think he was making 4.8 million, and he ended up getting 4.5 million back on the next year, this contract. I was expecting him to get maybe 5 million on a 2 or 3 year deal, but now he got 4.5 on a 2 year deal. So I think that's great. What I can tell you about Tatar as a player, I can tell you that he could score goals, definitely. He's a good goal scorer. He he has a great shot. You can use him on your power play. Um, the Habs used him on their power play. But this season he had stretches where he wasn't great. Hence why he was a healthy scratch for most of the Canadiens playoff run. Um, so yeah, I mean it kind of. I mean last season before this season, he didn't really he didn't um have like the same stretches as he did this season. Like he was never a healthy scratch. He led the Canadiens in points in the 1920 season. But then he had 30 points in 50 games. I think 50 games um, in this game. In this season, I mean. So this season he was he was okay, but he definitely wasn't anything compared to what he was last season. I don't know why that is, but we'll see if he can get back. If he can get back to that 1920, how he was playing in 1920, not like the year 1920, but the 19 and 20 season. I think this guy can be one of the bigger steals in free agency. 2 years, 4.5 million. I think if he gets back to that, I think he would be worth like 6 million on the market again. So yeah, great signing there. We're gonna go to the Darnell Nurse signing that happened today. Uh, it is a 8-year, 9.25 million. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think this is a bit of an overpay. A bit. I would have probably given him 8 by 8. Um, so I think it's a bit up there. Most I would have given him 8 years, 8 years, 8.5 million, maybe like 8.75. But definitely not more than that. I think 9.25 is way too much. I would have given him 8 by 8. Um, Basically, I mean, I don't really have an explanation for that. It's just by looking at the contract, it's too much. There's been a lot of defensemen getting overpaid this offseason. Obviously, you think of Seth Jones when you think of overpaid defensemen this season. I mean, that Seth Jones contract is horrible. I don't know what Stan Bowman was thinking there, giving him 8 years, 9.5 million. That's probably the worst signing of this whole offseason. But back to Darnell Nurse. Um, I think he's definitely been a good player, a good defenseman. He's all right defensively. He's not the best, but he brings a good offensive game to the Oilers. But it's not really what the Oilers need. I mean, the Oilers have had. I think I'm not the only person who thinks this. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who think this. The Oilers have had one of the worst off seasons out of all the teams this off season. It's been horrible. Bringing in Duncan Keith, not drafting Jesper Wallstad, drafting Xavier Bourgault. He's not a bad player, but I mean Xavier Bourgault. When you could have had your starting goaltender of the future, because Mike Smith is not gonna play until he's like 78. At least I don't think. You're gonna need a new goalie. Mikko Koskinen is overpaid, and he still has a lot of time left. I don't know how that's gonna go. He had one of the worst goaltending games of the season this year, the 2020-2021 season. Letting in 4 goals on 4 shots. That was horrible. Um, but yeah, I think they're gonna maybe buy him out. No, they're not gonna buy him out. The buyout season is over, I think. So they're probably gonna buy him out next season, or just trade him for like a cap dump or something. So basically trade him for nothing, just as a cap dump. Um, but um, no, I think it's not a horrible signing. Back to the the Darnell Nurse signing. Um, he brings a good offensive game. Um, but I think, in my opinion, you don't need your defense to have too much offense. And the Oilers' defense has way too much offense. You obviously think of Darnell Nurse, you think of Tyson Barrie. This guy, like especially Tyson Barrie, he doesn't bring anything defensively. At least with Darnell Nurse, you get some defense. You don't get any defense when it comes to you don't get any defense when it comes to Tyson Barrie. I mean, a forward has better defense than Tyson Barrie, and that's, I mean, obviously it's kind of impossible for a forward to have better defense, but he kind of does. So yeah, the Oilers' offseason been horrible. Um, and yeah, that's probably gonna do it for the recap for today. Um, so, yeah, peace, and thanks for watching.